4 years ago, I was writing about books about truths that shaped me. But there was one truth I almost didn't share, and that's exactly why I'm bringing it to light today. You see, so many of us were never taught to embrace healthy sexuality, and for me, that created a disconnection that lasted decades. But what happens when we dare to face it and we allow ourselves to heal? What happens? This episode is from that book, that chapter that made it to press when I was 50, and when I discovered something profoundly life-changing. It's raw, it's vulnerable, and it's just not a story. It's an invitation to consider for your own. Because of its honesty, some may find it triggering. And if you have past trauma, I encourage you to watch with support, whether a friend, a loved one, or a therapist. And remember, triggers when faced with care can also be a part of transformation. In sharing this, I'm showing you how I reconnected to my inner voice, or my woo, my body, my sense of self. This was the moment that helped me soar, and so I invite you to come along with me. Let's go. We are born unblemished, untainted. But life has a way of leading us away from our very essence. 2 moments in my life would place a veil of darkness over my eyes for decades. 15, 17. Too young to understand, too young to choose anything but feel broken. Permanently broken was what I told myself. But because I am a fighter just like you, I chose to put it in the past. I tucked it nice and tight away in the storage of my heart, hoping it would stay there forever. But it didn't. When I chose not to wail and scream, my body chose to do it for me. It wailed and screamed from head to toe from the horror of those scenes so many years ago. The power it stripped me of, the soul betrayal and the loss of innocence that was not of my choosing. After 2 years of not sleeping and my body continuing to fight for its life, I couldn't take it anymore. One night, I screamed and begged my husband to get his shotgun and shoot my effing head off. I screamed over and over and over, not wanting to feel, needing it to stop once and for all. The next day, my loving husband was sitting at the table with pen and paper in hand. Let's go over what you've done that has worked, what hasn't worked, and what you haven't considered. 2 minutes into the conversation, he looked up with loving eyes. Wendy, I don't think you have dealt with your sexual trauma. Would you be willing to consider that? My heart leapt with the inner knowledge of relief that I had finally caught on. Thus began a 4-year journey of healing. I felt like God led me to heaven as I started with a trauma-based retreat where I would learn how trauma is stored, how trauma is released. I would embark on inspired modalities, EMDR, AIT, hypnotherapy, energy work, massage, yoga, meditation, and finally removing my breast implants as part of my ultimate acceptance. In the final moment of healing, I discovered the power of vibration and sound healing, the ancient art of drumming. Where I began in the womb, hearing my mother's heartbeat, I would return to restore my essence. In this circle, I would find myself being embraced by 20 women who would help me to heal the last sheds of darkness that lingered in my soul. 2 weeks later, I awoke in the middle of the night. I felt a pulsing and a desire that I had never felt before. I wondered what this amazing energy of life was, and I set on a discovery to find out. One weekend, my family was away, and I chose love. I chose to show up for myself in a way that I had never even considered was possible. I dressed up, made myself a beautiful dinner, played my favorite songs, lit candles, took a bubble bath, and learned the ways of my body that was forbidden for decades until love won out. And I experienced the connection, the brilliant spiritual connection of bliss, orgasmic connection. For the first time in my life, I chose me. I showed up for me. I loved me. And the light returned. And I cried. I cried tears of loss for the girl who thought she was permanently broken. I cried tears of joy for a woman free from the restraint of the programs and the stories that were finally burning into flames. I cried for joy in the spiritual connection that I never knew existed. They say to cut a woman off from her sexual center is to cut herself off from God. I am here to tell you, it is true. The crown chakra at the top of our head was originally called the bliss chakra, opening up when we open our sexual centers. Bliss, joy, connection, creativity. Women are a chalice of creativity. As women, we create life. We create truth. It is no wonder that over the millennia, every culture has tried their best to destroy the sexual creative center of a woman, knowing that this would take away her greatest gift, her greatest power in directly aligning with truth and source. It is time to take back what has always been, but has been forgotten. We are awakening. We are gathering. Divine feminine energy is a we energy. We are no longer in scarcity of losing our men. We are uniting together as it's always meant to be. We are uniting together to heal. And when healing women gather, we have the power to heal a broken and hurting world. My dear sisters, it is now time to rise. We have returned to our truth. It is time to illuminate our essence. The time is now.